Here we are back from the Mesa. What an adventure, wow. We went from Las Vegas, and one of the nice parts of Las Vegas, to one of the poorest places in the US of A. Such a contrast was, well, I don't have the words. Sian has much better words than I do. You know, and to go and buy a couple of these pots off these old women that were living up there. Anita reminded me of my grandmother as well. How strange that Sian shared the same thing. And it was an honour, really, a privilege to be able to walk into their homes and talk to them and just feel something. It really was great. I don't know, you know, we ended up with Duane talking about the silver, you know, and we got this brooch from Duane. Sian and I got into a bit of an argument afterwards about how much money we spent. You know, and usually I barter, you know, usually I hassle people to reduce the price, but, you know, and the same with the pots. They said this is how much we want, and we paid the money. I could have bartered with Duane and said, you know what, knock $100 off, not $50 off. But it was like, what's the point? You know, it's pieces of paper to us. Is that $100 bill going to make any difference to my day, the following day, or the following month? It's not really going to make any difference to me. Not to say that, you know, I've got money to throw away, because we haven't. We're constantly arguing about money, but
constantly is a bit strong.
Well, it's a bit strong, but
it's a dynamic tension in our relationship.
Yeah, but to give those people that money, that made a big difference to them. That was a big difference for their day. And, you know, we got something beautiful for it. We got some beautiful silver, we got some beautiful pots, and it was a big thing for them. So it was a big thing for me, and it was a big thing for them. And to be within that landscape, you know, it is a million miles from where we live in Wales. You know, we live in temperate rainforest. It rains, it seems like, all the time, you know. And if you look at the statistics, when it's sunny in Arizona, it ain't sunny in Wales. Those are the proportions. And for any of you that know Arizona, they call it the Sunshine State, and, you know, it's a high percentage. To be on those mesas and look out 40 or 50 miles to the horizon, it was incredible. You know, the feeling of space and the way that it broadens your mind, it is a treasure, really. And again, words can't describe the effect that it has on me. But we've got some souvenirs. We will be going back. We will be going back.
Can I say one thing in closing, sweetheart?
Of course you can, darling.
The Mesas really reminded me of Wales. They look completely different. I get that. It's a completely different climate, but there's something about...
It's the people.
Yeah, there's something about how people make do in a rural environment with what they've got.
Yeah. And, you know, farming, they're growing stuff up there. You know, they get 10 inches of rain a year. You know, dry farming is a challenge, a big challenge. So, yeah, when I walked into Zora's house, the exposed beams on the ceiling, I had when I first met Sian, I had a cottage in Wales before we moved. You know, we've traded up, but that cottage was built in the 1600s. The same village that Lincoln's grandmother came from. We don't know who lived in that cottage. Way back then, there's about 15 cottages in the village, so it's a 15 to 1 chance that Abe Lincoln's grandmother was in my house living there. I mean, she must have been in there. But the construction, you know, the exposed beams on the ceiling, the log burner burning whatever you can to keep warm, everything happening pretty much in one room. It was very similar, yeah. So, a million miles away in space and time, but similarities that were touched our hearts, I know. If you ever get the chance to be there, take it.
Thanks for sharing the journey.